Hey guys, and welcome again to the Money Game with AC. So in this video I'm going to cover NIO, especially after the beaten down trading session it just had today following the earnings for the Q4 and the whole 2020 year. So without any further ado, let's get into it. Actually, NIO stock today closed at 43.29, being down 13%. This is huge. This is really huge, and it was kind of expected, but I think this is an overreaction. Personally, that's what I think. If you think the same, please guys let me know in the comment section if you also think that it's an overreaction. But when we look at the earnings call and the details or the major highlights around the earnings call, you will see that why I think it's a kind of an overreaction. So let's dip into it, guys. NIO is known as the Tesla of China, and they were expecting a loss of 39 cents a share. I mean, it was expecting a loss of net 7 cents per share, but actually it came down to 39, which is minus 148%, which is huge. But the good news is in the margin calls and the total sales revenue. So total sales revenue growing to 1 billion, which is very interesting. And more interesting is the gross margin improved to 17% in Q4, and this is down from minus 8-9% a year ago and 12% 13% on Q3. So they keep improving the margins, meaning that they are making more money into per car that they produce, per car that they sell. So if they are selling, for example, a car at 1,000, they will keep 170 out of it, which is good because it's improving. It means this is a company that is getting out of the small company world to getting into a much more giant, but it will take years to come because again these are the very early years where NIO is producing cars, and you can see here they delivered 17,000 cars in whole Q4. When you compare it to Tesla, Tesla had almost 100,000, 500,000 for the whole year, and then NIO is still at less than 100,000 years for 2020. So per month they're still around, they're still below that 10,000 cars level, which they need to achieve in order to be to beat that 1,000 level, which I think will give a strong signal to the market that they are kind of keeping up the ambitions and expectations of the market. So if we look at the chart here, we can see that a lot of people love this company. If you look at the 6 months here, it's been going up all the way to 67, and then it's coming back down here at 43. And it wasn't really surprise me if this continues to sell off on the coming days. But 13% is quite impressive for a single day. So it's not that bad in total. It's not that bad across the board, just because I think, as I mentioned again, a lot of people were expecting, people investing in these high growth stocks, especially in the EV market, that tend to want to have the same growth on a daily basis, like you can see on Tesla. But they tend to forget that Tesla have been here, the real pioneer into this market of the EV, especially here in the US. But NIO being in China, NIO hasn't really had the same growth so far because NIO it's younger than Tesla. So as we move into the years, we will see that they will gain more market shares in the US. They will get more market shares as they penetrate the European market. They'll grow again more and more in the Asian market and in China being a huge market for the EV. So I think we will see on the price prediction when we get into it in a second that this is not all good. It's just the way sometimes it's supposed to work in business when you are a new company entering a new market. So the outlook here is very interesting, and this is why I will keep holding my shares, because I just bought 200 shares of NIO when it was trading, I think 2 days before earnings. So I'm here for the long term. A lot of stocks that I buy, except for the swing trading, and even when I swing trade, is I'm willing to hold them for months, weeks. I don't day trade, even though sometimes you can feel like day trade is the same thing like swing trade, but I'm holding for the long term. So if you look at the outlook, meaning what the company is focusing and expecting to do for 2021, they see Q1 deliveries up to between 20 and 20,000 vehicles, and this will be up like 4 times from last year, which is huge. And revenue, they see a revenue around 113 billion to 116 billion, 1.16 billion. I'm sorry, again up 4,000, almost 4.5 times what we had on Q4. So the outlook, meaning what they're expecting for Q1 on 2021 of this year, so which is what 2 or 3 months from now. If these numbers are crushed, then we can definitely see a huge catalyst for NIO stock then. But in between, I think this will recover because 13% is really huge for just one single session, which is understandable. But personally, I think it's an overreaction. So if you look at the price prediction for NIO, we're looking at $100 a share for 2021. Some analysts are going all the way to 130, but since this is considered, for me, it should be considered a really long-term play. You can see here that in the 5 years to around 2026, this can be around $458 a share. So this is a huge gains, because I barely see NIO stock trading below 100 a share by the end of 2021 or early 2022. So definitely it's worth keeping it and holding it for at least 2 or 3 years to see that huge growth, which NIO stock is a growth company. So now it wouldn't really matter for me that I bought and I'm down $6 a share, because I'm looking at the long term. So what is $6 a share compared to $400 gain if I hold it for a couple of years, especially if I don't need the money now. So I would still say a NIO stock is a buy even at these prices. Even though you bought at 60, even though you're down $20 a share, it doesn't really matter if you see the long hold. If you see 2 years, 3 years, 5 years from now, you will still make a lot of money on NIO stock. So guys, that's everything I had for you today. Let me know, guys, in the comment section what you think about what you're doing with NIO, especially given these earnings, and if your interpretation of what I just shared with you is something that you consider to be in alignment, and if you agree or disagree. So I will see you in the next one. Until then, take care.